Well, hello everybody, it's Christine, and I am here only for a second or two until I see Sammy come on because I definitely don't want to overstream her. Um, I found out things that I had done wrong on my second live stream. I didn't realize that you actually have to set the settings twice, or every time you stream, you have to set your new settings. Hey, hi Tammy, hi Susie, hi Judy. I hope the sound is better on this video than it was on the last one. And hi May. Hey, I wanted to give you guys I chatting and probably overtaxing Kenny. But hi, Joey. Good morning. Hi, Starbucks. And and at any rate, hang on. I'm turning the chat so I can see it a little better. And we'll just do this for a second. I talked to Kenny this morning, and she wanted to let me know that that she is actually on her way home, and her husband is driving her there, literally right now. Um, she mentioned that she had commented on your video this morning, and uh, that it was wonderful, but that it taxed every bit of the strength that she had. So she just wanted me to on her behalf, she wants to thank everybody, everybody for the prayers. She is looking at those comments. She is, she confirmed that she's writing people's names down, and she will get back to each of you personally. But she did say that this pretty much scared the heck out of her, and that this one was a close call. So, but she wants to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I can really think of no better Christmas gift than that to the coloring community, to her husband Joseph, and to the people who love her. And so, yay, coloring community, all those prayers that went up from all over the world, and all the concern, and all of the, you know, I guess this time God just said, you know what, I'll give her back to you for a while. And so, yay. So that is the update on Kenny, and and like I said, she will in fact get back to you all as she can. Hi, Debs. Hi. Hey, Selena, you bought a book from me, but you haven't downloaded it. So I just wanted to remind you of that. Um, it's from my Etsy shop. And uh, let's see, what else? Like I say, I only came on because I thought that Sammy was going to be live, but I know she's been delayed. And I thought I'd take the opportunity, sort of fill the space until Sammy comes. And I also wanted to show you guys a couple of really cool things that I discovered sort of accidentally. Um, and hopefully the picture is clearer this time. I didn't realize that you actually have to set your camera every time. You have to set the microphone every time. So the sound on that last video was horrible, and my apologies for that to anybody who watched that playback back. Um, okay, good, Selena. I just wanted to make sure that you hadn't forgotten, um, or that you were unable to get it somehow, and I was gonna try and figure out how to get it to you if that was the case. And so Merry Christmas, everybody. It's hopefully all your shopping is done, and all your packages are in various stages, or you haven't started your shopping yet. And I'm telling you what, I did Walmart yesterday for just groceries, just groceries, and at 9 o'clock at night, and it was a zoo. So I can imagine what it will be like today. Anyway, so on this, if you remember the last time that I was here, I thought that red and green would make it festive, and of course the problem is I couldn't reconcile that red and green with being able to do anything out here in this area and still make it work with this. So I found out a couple things, and that is that you can actually layer Inktense on top of each other. And I did not, I mean, I knew you could blend the colors. What I didn't know is that you could actually layer with them. So I was able to fix the red by putting a little lagoon blue and turning it this really pretty aubergine eggplant kind of purple, which worked with the green. So I didn't have to change that. And then I was free to do what I wanted with these. And so, as you can see, I've gotten a little crazy in testing things out with glitter gel pens. And so I just wanted to show you guys all some of that. Hi, Nick and Tina. Hi, Susie. All shopping done. Granddaughter's presents wrapped. Others to do. I ordered your book too as a treat for Christmas. Thank you, Susie. Oh, that is so nice. Thank you so much. Pickle. Hi, little Pickle. Hi, Jody. Um, if I've missed anybody, I apologize. And so yeah, this is so cool. And look, I even added the moon up there in the right up here with and I just used that silver gel pen out of this set that Kenny sent me, the dual metallics, and it turned out really cool. And I left some little holes for the blue, and it makes it look like like the pits of the moon, like the anyway. And then I've been going around the let's see if I can get the reflection to show. It's a subtle one. And so I wanted to show you really quick how I did that. And of course, you'd think I'd be organized enough to have the lagoon blue out, wouldn't you? But oh no, not Christine. She wings it. Of course, it could be that lagoon blue is somewhere else. Hi, Katrina. Um, and of course, I can't really see. I need you know that magnifying glass that Dee Dee has? I literally found it. Okay. So this is how you do this. Okay. Hang on one second, guys. Oh, that's better. I got out here and realized I didn't have any water. Okay. Make the camera tools go away. Okay, there we go. Nice video, May. Oh, yeah, May, that was so adorable. I absolutely love that video. And I don't know why, but other than your picture, that you have as your icon, I don't think I've ever seen your face before. So I was so delighted to find that video this morning so that now I have a visual to go with the face or to go with the voice. And I love that outfit. And then I saw your Halloween one too, and that was adorable and spooky. And see how that, I mean, just a little tiny touch of that blue over the red turns it that gorgeous, deep eggplant purple. So I guess what I wanted you to know about this is that if you are using Inktense and you make a mistake like I did, you can actually fix it. And you're not stuck with it. And I'll show you a second mistake that I made, which I made after I fixed part of this one. So the reason why I continue on with this is because, of course, I am learning as much about these as I use them and what they'll do and how they work off camera. And then I try to bring it on camera so that I can show you guys. Wow, 17 folks. Hello, 17 folks, and to any lurkers that we may have, and all of that. Thank you so much, Christine. I have 3 face-to-face videos. One of them okay. Oh, you and the grape. All right, I'll look for that one, May. I'm gonna look at chat for a second. Fix it or slap. Well, actually, Pickle, the second one is slapping glitter on it, and I'll show you that one in just a second. Oh, that's so funny. Merry Christmas to you, Katrina. And hey, Donna, how are you? Hey, if anybody sees Sammy come on live, I do not want to. I mean, I'll scroll over a few people, but not Sammy. And so if she comes on, let me know, and I will immediately will go up and we'll go join her. But I saw her message that she would be delayed today, so I was thinking that I could get in there for a second. And if any of you have missed it, I did give an update on Kenny a little earlier. She is actually on her way home. She's holding her husband's hand, and she's on her way home from the hospital. She's very weak, but she is noting all of the messages that everyone is commenting as far as on the videos, and she's making notes of all of that. So she'll get back to each one of you as she can, as her strength allows. So it's just a blessing that she's gotten to go home. And that is the best Christmas present, certainly the best one that I've had this year, is knowing, the restoration of our friend's health. And boy, I'll tell you what, that brought up I've been making some notes, guys, on on you know on I don't what I want to say is that we all need to designate someone in our real lives to let the people in our online lives know if something happens. Because here's the deal. Uh, I haven't done that. And if I were to, I don't know, have something happen to me here at home, there isn't anybody who knows to to tell anybody, and so I would just basically disappear. And if there is anybody out there who would worry about me, they would never know. Uh, so even if it's I mean, you obviously would need to choose. It would need to be somebody in your real life, so that it would be somebody that you trust. But it was just a thought that I had that 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 if anything happens to any of us, how would the rest of us know? How would the rest of us know? Well, I appreciate that, Tammy, and I can tell you that if I do disappear off of Facebook for any longer than 2 or 3 days, that people do actually, start sending me messages and stuff like that, and that would be wonderful. Um, and oh, here's the other thing I wanted. So just I guess that's what I was thinking is that if we don't have people in our lives, we have each other. Um, get designated FIB. Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I was thinking. Starbucks, exactly, is that we needed a designated friend in the box uh, to to say like the fact that I spread the word about Kenny was merely because um, I guess I was probably the first one, or might have been the first one. I don't know. Some of you may know her a whole lot better than I do, but I was the first one to check on her, and then I got that cryptic message back, and it just we get to care about one another, and it's like for 2 or 3 days there, I was just absolutely devastated, and and you know and so I was having these visions that if anything happened to Kenny, if the worst had come, how would we ever know? Would Joe know to let, or Joseph know to let anybody know? And would any of you be able to find out any of? I mean, so it's like, wow. It just made me realize how easily one of us could just disappear, and how would anybody know? Yeah, exactly. We do notice when someone is missing. And that is the thing that makes this community so amazing. It is such an amazing thing to me that we actually care about one another. And we may never meet. We may never meet in person, and yet we care about one another. Okay, so I'll go back to coloring for a little bit. Uh, but the yeah, Selena, it's well, I tell you what, guys, I read an article, and it was about it passed around on Facebook, I don't know, a couple of years ago, but it was about a woman who passed away in her home, and she was estranged from her family, and she had her bills all set up through bill pay through her bank, and she had a rather large bank account. And so the all her bills continued to get paid, and it wasn't until the postman couldn't fit another she had one of those kind of door slot mailbox things where they actually the old fashioned ones where you put it through the door slot. And it wasn't until he couldn't get any more mail in there that that somebody discovered that she had passed away 5 years earlier. 5 years earlier. And nobody missed her. She had a lawn service. She had, so nothing appeared different from the outside. It's like, it was like, wow. And then I got to thinking about it, and that could have been me because, I have family, but the last time they called me was like 100 years ago. And, and it really got me to thinking. It really got me to thinking that, it is so important that we have that we check on one another, and don't be afraid to send up the alert in the event that you know that somebody is supposed to be there and they're not. And so I admit I stalked. I looked up Kenny's husband's page. I looked up her daughter's page. Hoping that I wouldn't see any messages that indicated the worst. And it wasn't until she actually did get back to me, especially after that first cryptic message, that I took a deep breath and said, okay, let's fix this. Let's fix this all for each other so it never happens again to any of us that we're left the not knowing. And so anyway, that's all I have to say on that. And Susie, yeah, exactly. This is such a welcoming community, and it is just amazing, absolutely just amazing. As we head into this holiday season, and we've had in the community, we've lost people this year. People who were very, very special. Everybody is very special, but I came into the Facebook coloring community or the YouTube coloring community just 2 weeks before we lost Katrine. And then I listened to Passionista Colorista's podcasts last night. Both the one where she interviewed Katrine and the other one where she interviewed Alexander. And and yeah, so it's easy to become attached to people. Yeah, well, yeah, Joey, I'm not good at it either, and you almost feel sort of intrusive if you. Uh, well, let me just mention this real quick so that I can actually color and talk at the same time. I had screwed up. Once I decided to change this to purple, then what was I going to do with the dots? These little dots right here. And I thought, well, I'll color them apple green because I wasn't sure if I wanted to make these a color or make them green. So I colored them apple green, and then I decided that I didn't like that. So then I thought, well, okay, I'll go over them with this green gel pen. And so that is what I did. Well, then I thought, well, that is a little too weird of a shade of green to fit in with, because it's really a turquoise blue green. And so then I discovered That's when I discovered, and I'll do it up here because these are dry. Mirror image, mirror image. Yeah, these two. These two are the actual blue. That's when I discovered that you can layer gel pens too. You can actually put a color right on top of dried gel pen. And you still see the turquoise blue underneath, but then when you hold it up to the light, it reflects gold, which I just think is so cool. And and then I use the gold gel pen to do the little dots. So those are some things that I've discovered about this. And I also discovered that it doesn't matter if the green is down here or not. The gel pen is so strong. So I had only gone this far with the green when I decided that I didn't like it. So that's when I decided to do something else. And so you can just do it on the bare paper and it looks just the same. So those are things that I've discovered. And then I also on these little guys, the little green leaf things, that is just so strange to me, that mirror image thing. I've got to stop looking at the screen when I move things around. This is actually the canary yellow, the canary yellow Prismacolor. I just put the Inktense down one side and this Prismacolor down the other side. But then these I actually was able to do with the yellow Inktense, and it gave the same effect. So you can. The thing about Inktense is that you can either layer them, you can also use pencil, and this is the thing that makes them one of my absolute favorite tools in my box is these. It is fun figuring out how to fix your oops. That's exactly it, Yvonne. And welcome, by the way, Yvonne. Hi, I missed you coming in. And because I wanted it to look I wanted it to look good because I drew it and I just love it. I love my there now you can see the gel pen that I put around the that was the other thing that I did. I used the pink one, which is the one that actually looks red in the box, and I just went around the black lines, and it gives it. I'm right in the middle of shading these using Prismacolor pencils, but I just love that you put them over it, and it's still a little bit of the black still shows through, but then when you when you actually catch it in the reflection, it just gives us such a beautiful effect. I really am loving coloring, guys. To take a pen and ink artist and make a colorist out of her, you guys have really, it's you that have done this for me. You've given me this gift. All of you who color and draw and do all of those types, draw and color. And like I said, this is yeah, I didn't sell a single one of these issues 2 weeks ago, but when I went live with this book, my first live, and showed this picture, and people found out that I drew it, I sold 10 of this book in that the next day from that stream. So that made me very glad. And there is in fact a link to this book in the description of the video. Uh, but I'm just coloring and talking and filling spots and thinking about the community and oh, that is what I wanted to say. May, if you have that link to Passionista Colorista, uh, would you put that in that the Christmas messages link? It was so special. It really was. I imagine that all of you know who Isabel is, but she's mostly been over on Instagram, and I don't know how to do Instagram video type stuff. I'll figure it out one of these days. But she also has a podcast, and I've never really listened to it until May sent me a link last night because there's all of these wonderful Christmas messages, and one of them, May, thank you, wanted to thank the artists, and I was one of the artists that she named, for the work that we do, and it was just so special. From all over the world, Isabel got the best, the best Christmas greetings from people in Brazil and just all over the world. And it just really made me know how widely this hobby is shared. And uh, and it was just uplifting and wonderful. And I just think that Isabel is so terrific for putting that together for all of us, and and all the work that she does. I listened to about 4 of her podcasts last night as I was sitting here, and loved every single one of them. And I've loved the work that she's doing on her Advent, uh, or from World of Flowers, uh, Johanna's book, the Advent calendar, or maybe it's from Christmas, the Christmas book. I don't know exactly. Uh, and the last one is Joanna Basford. That's the last one the last greeting on the video is Joanna. This is not yet dry enough for me to be doing this, so. But I thought that was so cool. Thank you for putting in that link, May. I appreciate that. And oh yeah, Pickle. I had no idea that you were in the UK. I don't know, for some reason I thought you were here in the USA. And so when I heard you speak, I was like, "Oh my goodness. She is from the UK." Yes, Pickle is a part of that episode too. And yes, Katrina, I heard you mentioned as well. And Kenny, and it was I had no idea. I thought it was just the most wonderful thing. Uh, First off, Passionista Colorista is such a pro. She really is. She is just a delightful, sunny, uh, uh, just positive person, and you just love that. She's like Sammy uh, in that other stuff is probably going on in her life, and yet she still is thinking of others and doing things like that. So that is really cool. Okay, now I'll show you how I have been doing these, and yes, Katrina, you are always a delight to have in a stream. I mean, I only know you from seeing you in streams, but I love your comments and your. So this is the golden yellow, and iron green, and your positivity, and okay, and this is the iron green. So those are the two colors that I am working on for this outer ring of these flowers. I call them flowers, but now I think that they are uh, more likely to be called leaves. And all I do is confuse myself with which end is up. Should probably stay away from that not yet dry gel pen. There we go. It's easy to get your hand in that gel pen before it dries. I was so disappointed in how the replay of that last live stream looks. I don't know what happened. I thought it was going out clear, but the rendering of it is just awful. It looks fine on a mobile device, but it was fuzzy as all get out on my laptop computer. So I don't know what happened with that. But you all have my apologies if you've been trying to watch the playback of that. As far as I can see, it's barely watchable. And it could be that I did not, I didn't realize that you have to set up your microphone every time. Otherwise, it defaults back to your, because I run everything through the laptop. So I didn't realize it defaults back to the microphones in the laptop. So I couldn't hardly hear myself. And it sounded like I was talking from a long distance away through a sock. So, all right. Speaking of socks, I treated myself to a new pair of slippers last night. I haven't had a new pair of slippers in probably 10 years. So that was my Christmas gift to myself. That and a full refrigerator. All right. Yeah, I love learning how these things work and how to because everybody's going to use them differently, and everybody is going to discover new things. And who would have ever thought you could use nail polish for in coloring books until somebody, oops, I keep going the wrong direction, until somebody tried it the first time. This whole adventure is such a discovery. Nail polish and eyeshadow and all sorts of unconventional things that we use for coloring. Has anybody ever tried to, excuse me, to color with food coloring? Anybody ever tried that? Even throw food on your pages. Yes, exactly. Freedom and free mindedness. Yeah, that is it's a ray of sunshine, Pickle. It really is a ray of sunshine. Did you see my comment to your reply? I mentioned the size of the canvas I'm working on. I did not see that, but I will tell you what, you guys, Tammy is working. I mean, click her little three dots, go over to her channel, and look at the size of the canvas that she is working on a diamond painting. It is absolutely mind blowing. It is mind blowing. I would be I would be working on that for the rest of my life. Hi everybody. Hey Zarget. Hi Zarget. Can I Zarget, can I would you mod for me too? Just in case May because May's my only mod right now and Katrina. Uh Katrina, you would be my other choice. Would you also mod for me? Thank you, Zarget. I actually, Zarget, I made you a mod last night, and then I thought, no, I should probably ask her first. Okay, there we go. Now I'm set. I've got four moderators, and in my lexicon, and they're all people that I know are carrying big old troll hammers and know and have experience with them. At any rate, the the I really was. I was just tickled by all of the by all of the everything. I guess I don't know. I lost my train of thought, and then I did a pretty weak job of trying to get it back. uh, I might have been talking about Inktense and how they work. I don't know, guys. Bear with me. I am easily distracted. What can I say? Uh, ooh, look, something shiny. I looked out my window today, and there were actually Christmas carolers walking down the street singing. I thought that was kind of cool. They weren't stopping at people's doors. They were just, they would just stop every three or four houses and sing and then go on. And to give you an idea of what kind of a person Kenny is, she she was worried about me today, or about me and whether or not I whether or not I would have anything to do on on Christmas Day, and I'm like, well, yeah. I said the world hopefully will be looking in on me because I was going to stream for part of the day. I think uh, that that it would probably be around probably the 1 o'clock hour, unless I'm going over somebody else, the 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So that would be, I believe, 6 o'clock UK time, Greenwich Mean Time. And oh, hey, thank you for that. Whoever that was, that little sound is, of course, my favorite sound in the world. I admit it. That is my favorite sound. But everything in my Etsy shop is still on sale for 25% off. Uh, I decided to extend the sale through the end of the year as my Christmas gift to everybody. Um, since, like I say, the art is what I have, and uh, and a sale is what I can do. So uh, yeah, it really was cool. Well, it was just also the tradition of hearing people singing Katrina, and because you don't really hear it so much anymore unless you go to a mall or and you need to believe that the last place that I am willing to go on a holiday or or on anywhere near a holiday is a mall. Just isn't going to happen. Absolutely will not be happening in my world. Oops, wrong one. That could have been a mistake, but we'll see if we go back. We can we'll see if we can go back and fix that one later. Hi, Nia. I always seem to miss saying hi to you, so I want to take a special moment and say hi, sweet lady. Yeah, exactly. And I know I probably have a hang on. I'm looking for my cheat sheet here. I think the last time we talked about this, Starbucks, you told me to just call you Starbucks. that would work. Is that right? I don't have you on my translation list, so that must be it. That must be it. But yeah, mall, no way. the, the the fact that that I actually went to Walmart. I mean, I am a 3 o'clock in the morning Walmart shopper. I do not like crowds. I do not do well in crowds. And that is really the thing. It is more of an anxiety issue than anything else. If you want to send me into a panic, back me up into a corner, or at a party. You're at a party and you suddenly realize that in order to get out from wherever you are, you've got to move people. Uh, I I I definitely move them as I shove them out of my way as I'm heading toward the door and the open space. I don't do well in enclosed spaces. I'm okay in elevators. I don't have a problem with elevators. Even crowded elevators, I'm okay in because those are short trips. But if I get stuck somewhere, and I'm behind people that won't get out of my way, uh, or I just go into sort of I guess you could call it a panic attack, although I don't like to think of myself as subject to things like panic attacks, but you could probably call it that. I just get a little freaked out. Am I casting a shadow? Trying not to cast a shadow. Oh, that was the other thing. I treated myself to a few things last night. One of them was light bulbs. I has is anybody else as absolutely shocked by the cost of light bulbs as I am? I mean, I realize that these new light bulbs are designed to last for 22 years, so they're only going to get your money once, uh, you know. But but I recently, because all I had were first I had uh, I had bought a ton of them on sale. The old incandescent soft white bulbs, right? The 100 watters. And I used those. Uh, but then these ones came out. So, and these were slightly more expensive, but they lasted longer, used less wattage, and really seemed like a good idea. And so I bought those, and I bought a couple of packages, a 60 water package, and that had like 8 bulbs in it over at Lowe's, and another one that had 100-watt bulbs in it. And over the last 10 years or so, I have used those and used them up. And so I go shopping for light bulbs the other day, and I could only afford one. I could afford to, with the cheapest Walmart one made, the one that's only designed to last a year and 3 months. That was the only one that I could afford, and I could only afford one bulb. So they want $18 for a bulb. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Give me the one that'll only last a year. I'll just pay, $3.63 is what the 1 year one cost. Uh, Actually, no, that's not true. $3.63 on sale. The 1 year one's four in a pack. And that's what I got last night. Because I am not paying $18 for a light bulb. It's like, no. It's Yeah, exactly, Loretta. I went through and I robbed as many light bulbs as I could from my other lamps, but I eventually, of course, I ran out of those too. So I I just yeah, it's just funny. I guess we'll see if they last longer. One of these days I will actually go the $18, buy one, see if it lasts for 22 years. But in this lamp especially, the one that I'm using right now. Oh, that was the other thing. That was the other thing. That live video I did the other day, uh, I had only had this lamp at 50 watts. It's a 50, 100, 150 water. And I'm like, the first stream I did was so nice. Why is this one so terrible, visually? And it's just because I didn't know. This is what I get for doing things in a hurry. But if I don't jump right in, if I spend too much time in the planning of something, hi, Melody. If I spend too much time in the planning of something, I won't do it. So that's why I jumped in. And and that's the way I've always done things. If I would have uh, if I would have ever gotten lost in the idea of how do you publish your first book, I would never have done it. I just did it. And my cousin, or my niece-in-law, yeah, my niece, she's not actually my niece. She's my nephew's other, the half of his family that doesn't belong to my family. It's one of the cousin's wives. But at any rate, she apparently had been following me on Facebook and watching what I did in first, posting pictures of things that I'd drawn, and, then all of a sudden having enough to release my first book. And that inspired her to start writing a blog. And she just released her first book, and it's called Claire. And it is about, she writes about Wellesley, Massachusetts, and in hoity-toity neighborhoods, and the fact that they're haunted. And 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 so she does it from the point of being an interviewer and gathering stories about all of the various hauntings of the houses and the people and all of that. And so now she has compiled these from her blog into a book, and it's called Ghost in the Burbs and Ghosts in the Burbs. And it is just a delightful, it's a delightful thing for her to have done. And so that, yeah, I definitely tried not to get, when I'm looking for my water brush, where did I put it? Of course I can't find it. It's right in front of me. Okay, yes. I am on screen and I'm in the middle of the screen. Yay! So, the light is better today. Hopefully the sound is better today. And and um, how to scan your stuff in to be usable to color. Okay, Loretta, here is the key to that. Are you ready? Scan in your drawings at 600 DPI. And if your drawings are clean, in other words, if you don't have a lot of grayscale or you haven't made any mistakes, you can generally, or even if you have, if you are using Windows, you can generally clean those up in Paint, in the Windows program called Paint. And I just use the eraser. That's what I do. I hand draw it, then I scan it in at 600 DPI. Then I take it over to Paint and I erase any little overdrawn lines uh, or places where I accidentally set the pen down on the paper and it made a spot of ink, that kind of thing. Clean all of that up and then save it. And then I use a program called Inkscape. And Inkscape is available free online. You just download it to your computer. It is a bear to get to learn to use. So I only use it actually, I have started to learn a lot more about it, but there are tutorials on YouTube that will show you how to use it to do what's called a trace bitmap. And you set the key to that is in the settings, and which is why you really have to learn to use it. Yeah, and but what it'll do is it'll vectorize your lines. And when I say vectorize, it just means that it will make them cleaner, so that if you have any shakier edges or anything like that, a place where your pen has caused it um, to feather out, then you can. It helps to make the lines cleaner and more professional. It is not. I mean, you can't. You'd really have to be an advanced user of it to things that you might have done wrong. It's almost easier to redraw something that you've drawn badly than it is to try and fix it in a computer. But yes, and then you export that as what's called a PNG, and that is called a portable network graphic. And then you can do a couple of things with it. You can either just go straight to Adobe Acrobat and create it as a PDF, or in my case, I use a program that came with my Windows Office suite, and it's called Microsoft Publisher. And it is not free. It costs a pretty penny, Office, but that's what I use to compile my books together. I actually create them in Microsoft Publisher, so it's like a magazine. I create a magazine and then I publish the magazine, because you have to upload it to like, if you have an Etsy shop. So now I had used the Prismacolors over here, so I want to see what happens if I try and use just trying to provide you guys options. So maybe you have Inktense, but you don't have Prismacolors or whatever. So let's see if we can get the same effect. Looks pretty good to me. So there's a couple of different options if you want to layer some colors on top of each other. But then the bottom line is that you can certainly upload JPEGs to Etsy to sell coloring pages. I like to do PDFs just because I like to keep control over what is done with my drawings. If I upload PNGs, PNGs can be resized. JPEGs often don't hold their quality, and I don't like that. So PNGs hold their quality, but can be resized and therefore are easily stolen and utilized for purposes that you might not have intended. But PDFs are cleaner. Now, people who know a lot about technology know that you can just take a PDF and turn it back into a JPG. But you have to use a service to do that. You just want them clear enough to color. Yeah, and so that's what you do. Just scan them in. If all you're after is personal coloring, just scan them in at 300 DPI and then print them out. .300 is a fairly big file, and you can in fact go with 200 DPI for personal coloring as well, but 300 is better. So now that y'all have all had a lesson that you really didn't ask for, I keep watching for Sandy. I've got a new video from Reading with Pugs, but not alive, from Sandy. You tried that and it came out way too late. What, the 300 DPI, Loretta? Hi, Kathy. It didn't work. Okay. It turned out too late. Loretta, are you trying to scan something that you drew or that is from a book? Because that sounds like you might have a problem with your ink. 300 DPI is really more than you need. 300 DPI, by the way, is commercial grade printing. They're all printers, commercial grade printers don't print any more than 300 dpi. So it could also be that you don't have enough ink, down. Okay. So is everybody okay to stay, or do you all have other things you need to go to? I noticed that there are 17 of us here. Thank you, everybody, for the thumbs up. That is so helpful. That is wonderful. Thank you. And excuse me, is there anybody that hasn't heard the good news about Kenny? What am I doing? Besides slowly losing my mind. Okay. All right. Good. Challenged. Oh. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Tech challenged is it can be very difficult. I was That was so funny. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you a quick story, guys. Anybody up for a quick story? Exactly, and we're all happy to tell you. There, exactly, May. Exactly. It goes if you have a printer, Loretta, that automatically goes into draft mode. You need to check that. Check those settings and make sure that you've got it set to print good quality. Otherwise, if you're stuck in draft mode, it doesn't matter what your DPI is, it's still going to be ugly. That's that good. Thank you, May, because I had completely forgotten all about that. That she might be stuck in draft mode. That happened to me once. I'm like, why is my printer all of a sudden, like not working right? I had it all taken apart when I discovered that I had, silly me, I had kept it stuck in draft mode. Oh, okay, well, good. All right, well, I'll tell you the story about how I was forced to become tech savvy, and and it's pretty funny. Okay, so I'm an escrow officer in Palm Springs, California, which was my first escrow job. If you have listened to any of my older videos, you know that I got that job from a very dear friend of mine, and that while I was working for her as a receptionist, I learned how to do the job and then surprised her uh, with what I knew, and she made me a junior escrow officer. And while I was still a junior escrow officer, uh, we were still typing on the old IBM Selectric. For those of you kids who don't know what an IBM Selectric is, it's a typewriter, not a computer, a typewriter, which means that if you mess it up, it has a correction ribbon, but it's a manual type thing. You have to actually back up and use the correction ribbon to take out the wrong letter and put the right letter in and that kind of thing. It was very time consuming. So right about then, they released their very first. Um, oh, bye, Melinda. Hi, Melinda. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry you have to work today, but yes, thank you for coming in. Uh, so they released their very first escrow software, and we all came into the office one day, and there were computers sitting on our desks. And we thought that was great. How wonderful. But none of us, and there were 8 escrow officers who worked there at the time, none of us wanted to learn to use it. And so none of us did. We just had these very expensive decorations that took up a corner of our desk, and we were all still using our IBM Selectrics to type out our escrow instructions and all of the other stuff that we typed on a, you know, daily basis. And so this went on for about 3 or 4 months until the owner of the company came for a visit. And, he came and he left. And the following Monday, we come in and every pencil, every piece of paper, every typewriter had been removed. The only thing that we had left were those damn computers. And you, you want to talk about watching people scramble. It was just hilarious. How do we, we're all in a panic because of course, it's a pretty serious business. Now, obviously we were able to conduct business, but we got the message. We got the message that the boss had said, we all better learn to use these computers. And so that's what we did. Well, I have always liked to work at night, so it was not unusual for me to be at the office at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Bye, Pickle. Merry Christmas, honey. Thank you for coming by. Hi, Kim. Oh, good. Good, good, good. I'm glad that you got to catch up with her. At any rate, so I'm there and I'm tired and I pushed the wrong button. And I don't know what, but I somehow managed to delete not only the escrow that I'm working on, but the whole program. The whole escrow program from the company. At least that's what I thought. And so I spent this. It happened on a Friday night, by the way. So I spent the entire weekend retyping all of the instructions that we had. The entire weekend, it was like, I would sleep for 2 hours and then go back to work. And that on Monday morning, I came in and my boss, I fessed up to her what had happened and what I'd done to fix it. And she's like, Christine, we have a backup. We back up the system automatically every night. And I'm like, oh gosh. Okay, so that is how I learned about technology and how it works. And thereafter, I've never been afraid of a computer program because I know that there's always a backup. It was just, yes, exactly, Tammy. I was like so horrified that I had deleted everybody's escrow instructions. And so, there's a print copy in every file, that's signed. So here I am putting everything back and making it all right. And there's a backup. So I learned my lesson. Absolutely learned my lesson. But I also learned that, you can play with a computer program and not, you don't have to be afraid of it. Just don't press save and don't press delete, and you'll be okay. So that's how I teach myself every bit of software. The first thing I do is back everything up, and then I wait before I start deleting things until I know what I'm doing. Because I can save, 15 different versions of something. Oh, and I use save as, not just save. I'd use save as. So I end up with all these different files. And then until I finally find the one that's right. I love Inktense. Exactly. Exactly. There's nothing to be afraid of if you don't, if you just, save as. I'll save this one as that, and then I'll go back to the other one, and I'll try something different and see what that does and how it works. Thank goodness now for YouTube and these, technical people who are, I mean, literally, there is virtually nothing I haven't been able to figure out or find out how to do on YouTube. Hang on, guys, 1 second. Melody's still here. Do we know? Or did she go? Oh no, Zarget. Oh no. Oh, the magnetite. They corrupted the file with the magnets in the speaker. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that would be just crushing. Just crushing. Because I know how long it takes to, to write the work for their masters. Oh my goodness. Uh, Melody, if in fact you are listening, yes, yes, I did, and yes, I did, uh, and and so uh, and so yes, I did. I don't know. Yes, yes, I did, and I cannot tell you how eternally grateful I am. Uh, so yes. Sorry, guys, I just got lost there for a second. Okay, now maybe one of these is dry enough to be able to put some gel pen on it. Oh, I am loving this piece. I really am. And of course I have such fun when I'm coloring anyway. I really do. I really do like it. And of course, if you have been watching my channel and you've seen the one where I go through my journey, my art journey, it's one of the very first videos that I did. And I'll do another one where I'm reviewing my epic fails. I haven't had a fail in a while, so I'm just yay because I'm learning from all of you guys. I'll bet it costs them a full term extra at university. Oh my goodness. Uh, yeah, yeah. That is quite a cost for a celebration that was ill thought out. Well, of course, I might have made the same mistake. If you don't know, putting a floppy disk down on anything magnetic will corrupt it. Actually, putting any kind of a disk near a magnet will corrupt it. So it's one of the reasons why you want to keep magnets away from things like your phone and your your computers and all of that stuff, because magnets do a lot of damage to your credit card